Leap. Hey folks, this is Brian. I got another Far Horizons update. We're getting pretty close to catching up to where we are today. Dylnn personal log 1912.14. So at the commune, we helped set up some defenses and start a patrol training package for these guys. We figured that once we developed more language skill that we can actually teach some basic classes. So there's a lot of this language stuff. Rob and I are working on developing language skills. We spent about 5 days working here within the commune, and then we go ahead and make a patrol south. Take the boy with us. No one came back with the deer. I'll keep our eye on him. After several days, we make camp, do some hunting, fishing, foraging, that kind of thing. One of the hunting parties is attacked by this huge black cat. Magnet is severely injured. We do what we can for him. Later on, we come across a raiding party of these lizard riding guys that are heading north. We're kind of heading southish. The boy just takes his bow and arrow and starts sniping these guys. He manages to take 3 of them down when the raiders turn. And at that point, we go ahead and attack too. We were trying to let him go by. 3 of the raiders survived. The boy began taking their tassels as trophies and then killing the survivors. That kind of surprised first, but no, this is their place, their culture. What do we know? So we didn't involve too much in that. But we did go around and round up the actual lizards, the riding beasts. We noticed that one of the raiders has a necklace with a piece of metal with English letters on it. So one of the party, his new psychic powers from Malik, he's able to touch things and figure stuff out. This piece of metal came from Mars and has psychic energy in it. Prisoners here do speak some English words. They call them speak some English. They call them the sacred words. So we decided we were going to go back to this temple, go to their temple, and figure out, what we're going to need to investigate this, find what's going on. So it's about 2.5 days southeast of where we are. We use the drone to go in and check out the village, that kind of thing. We can see smoke trails about a day out. As we get closer, is walled structure, more smoke trails, fires, that kind of thing. They have a palisade, stockades, pens with lizards and these giant beetles. There's a watchtower with a guy in it, and a 10 by 20 structure that we think is probably barracks. The village itself is in kind of a little depression. We find what we think is the main house and start spying. There's a warrior inside. He's got a lot of these tassel things. He's also carrying we'll figure out later. It's a Martian naval cavalry sword. There's an old woman there who's speaking broken English. She's doing some kind of evening ceremony. She must be like a wise woman or a priestess or something. So we get ready and we're waiting to see what's going on. She and 2 guards and 2 bowmen leave and go south of the village where there's a cave. We follow them in. There's a stream going in. It goes down to a hole, a little waterfall. So it's a kind of cavern, and then opens up into a large area. And then there's these 2 bowmen over what looks to be like a starship airlock. Push the log off. A couple things we were doing some, because it's RQ3 and they have fatigue rating that's different than RQG. And we were trying to figure out, okay, how many fatigue does it take to travel so many hours? And I didn't take notes on that, but there's a factor involved with, 7 fatigue is so many hours kind of thing, or every hour we take 7 fatigue, or, this traveling stuff, which is something I need to be more conscious of in my game. In fact, I was watching a this is a sidebar. Sorry, guys. I was watching a fellow doing a review of the new RQG that he did last year in April, and he came across a part where it talked about, you know, if you don't have enough food, or if you don't have enough water. And I didn't remember that kind of stuff, so I was looking at my book and going, sure enough, it's right there. So some more stuff I might need to take, you know, into consideration. Although my party's been, if they're not, you know, guests of some place, they're going out on mission for someone who's going to make sure they have, you know, rations and stuff. So it hasn't been an issue. But anyway, psychic energy. This thing has one magic point in it, that piece of metal. And I need to find out whatever happened to that. Somebody's got it. We need to keep track of that. Because the psychic or psionic energy skill capabilities that Maliki blessed us with use magic points to fuel the spells. Now, it's actually taken from the old spell law from Iron Crown's let's say Space Master, but this is science fiction shit, science fiction version. There's arms law and claw law and all these different, you know, law things. Well, there's spell law. There's a whole series of magic lists that are associated to character classes, but they're broken into three categories: channeling, mentalism, and essence, which fit really well with the Runequest, you know, spirit, divine, and sorcery. You know, so that's something that our GM has been tying in to help expand a little bit on stuff. So Dylnn has a mental list that's shadows or something, so he can make himself invisible. He can blur himself, so he's hard to hit, or he can make himself invisible to at different levels, 1, 2, or 3 people kind of thing. He can also make something invisible as well. But somebody's got this whole divination thing, and somebody else has got elemental resistance. The Doc, Balthazar, remember when he lit himself on fire and said, or he poured oil on himself and said, torch me? That's because he had elemental resistance that he could use. So it'll pop through on occasion. Anyway, happy gaming.